and what the ceiling mirror wouldn't let me unsee. The ceiling in room 417 had a mirror. That's how hotels apologize for everything else. The too bright lamp, the heavy curtains, the carpet that smells like someone else's evening, by promising angles you won't get at home. I lay there on my back, practicing forgiveness like a language class, and watched myself not asking questions. We were supposed to be ordinary. On Sundays, I iron pillowcases because flat cotton feels like a promise heat can keep. She sleeps with her palms splayed on my ribs like she's taking attendance of my breath. Our balcony forgives being too narrow for two chairs by letting us take turns and calling it choreography. When rain comes after midnight, we crack the window and let the city wash its face while we wash each other's. Her knee hooking behind my thigh with sailor's certainty. My mouth finding that nickel-bright coin beneath her collarbone, where breath admits it wants to be fire. But ordinary had started to require better lighting. Evidence is a hobby for men who hope to be wrong. I started a folder called Weather and filled it with small storms. The scarf folded with seminar confidence, the French candle that pretends to be the moon, Lune Salé, burned down to a secret, the doorbell clip where a stranger's jaw fogged the lens, the voice memo on her phone titled Later, 21 seconds of hiss, her laugh, and a man saying my name like he wanted to keep it. She had begun showering in the dark, telling the mirror she had migraines. She left dinners early, smiling with lips but not with teeth. Her phone learned a new chime at 12, 06 and 12, 11, as if a second household had installed its own doorbell inside ours. London, she said, thumb moving. Their morning keeps trespassing on my midnight. I told myself silence was discipline. Silence turned out to be rehearsal. Harbour Line's bar smelled like time and practiced absolution. He sat by the corner, jaw careful, slate jacket draped like a thesis. When the bartender asked, he raised two fingers without touching the air and something clear obeyed. His smile was a curtain thin enough to see through. She joined him with the scarf I hate because it has manners. My name was not invited. That night she kissed me too hard, passion repurposed as camouflage. In bed she crossed her knee behind my thigh and guided my hand beneath her shirt like someone switching on a lamp she trusted. We moved with the fluency of people who know their lines and still want applause. In the middle her eyes went elsewhere and returned with apology penciled faint along the edge. Pencil erases clean if you don't press. I pressed anyway. At 2:11 a.m., the doorbell camera made its small confession. Face recognized Milo. 30 seconds of grain, his cheek fogging the lens, her shadow slipping past like someone who knows how to walk without waking mugs. The latch gave the sound of surrender. Sunday wanted witnesses, courage likes even numbers. I invited her brother and our friend Anton for pasta. The apartment smelled like garlic telling the truth. We laughed. Plates carried themselves. After, I mirrored the doorbell clip to the television. The rectangle did its neat geometry around his jaw. "We should talk privately," she said instantly. "We will," I said, "but I need witnesses that I didn't dream a welcome. They left us to be a room." She scrolled her phone like someone pulling a thorn without looking. The hotel app still wanted a rating. The Wi-Fi history remembered more than I did. The voice memo blinked. She didn't press play. "I told myself it was a hallway," she said finally. "Somewhere I could stand without a tour guide. I liked the echo." "Is he married?" Bureaucracy steadies grief. "Separating," she said. "A son, 8. "Do you love him?" The word is small until it sits down with a chair. She looked at the ceiling crack that refuses to pick a direction. "I love who I am when I stop narrating. With you I started describing myself from outside, like I owed footnotes to every heat. He turns the placards around and says he believes the painting without the text. I loved us like architecture, she added, quiet. I wanted weather. We're going to separate, I said. The sentence felt like a key nobody would cut again. She nodded with relief. I refused to rename cruelty. Do you want me to go now? I want the door to forget his face, I said. Pick a door, I'll take the other. Which is how I ended up under a ceiling mirror in room 417, practicing how to be a man who doesn't narrate himself to death. The bed was a continent, the lamp a small, dishonest sun. I'd booked the room because I wanted a view I could hate without betraying the couch we bought together. The hotel promised discretion the way kind thieves do, with good lighting and quiet shoes. The mirror taught me angles I wasn't ready for. My mouth looks different from above, more certain, less kind. My hands look like they're asking questions even when they touch the right answers. I lay there and let the room write me down. When she called, I didn't answer. Her message arrived. Where are you? Then another, come home. Then a third that didn't say please but wanted to. I turned my phone face down. The city kept practicing rain. There is a way to be alone that feels like fidelity. I showered with the light on and watched steam go where it wanted without anyone telling it why. I toweled off without pretending it was a rehearsal for another mouth. I stood at the window with the curtain half open and let myself be a person who didn't have to pick a side of the bed to tell the truth. In the mirror over the bed, I saw the new man first, jaw less obedient, eyes refusing to drift. I put my palm on my ribs where her hand used to take attendance and counted myself present. Then I slept like an honest animal. Checkout wanted me to rate my stay. I said the lighting was accurate and the ceiling was rude. They comped the minibar as if absolution were a receipt. Back home, I changed the lock, taught the doorbell only my face, opened the windows until the curtains forgot her perfume. I slid the spare key under the plant on the landing. The dirt forgave me without argument. I made pasta too late in the evening and burned the basil, and the apartment still let me stay. I put 2 chairs on the too narrow balcony and let one be empty without inventing who it belonged to. Because endings itch, I stood in our hallway and stared at the mirror that started everything. I angled it until it caught only the door and a slice of sky, left it tilted like a decision I didn't need a witness for. At midnight the city washed its face. I cracked the window and washed mine. Sometimes I press my thumb to the thin place on my wrist and answer myself. Here, here, here. The doorbell hasn't learned any new faces since. The phone asks if I want to improve recognition by sharing clips. I tell it no. Some ceilings don't deserve your eyes twice. Some weather you let pass without giving it your name. Some nights, that's enough.